Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. Funding announcements in the north today, including more money for mining.
We are investing in changing our molding systems.
We'll show you how one manufacturer is now able to move ahead. Plus, a northern think tank weighs in on moving immigration outside of Canada's big cities.
Over the last 50 years, Canada has basically doubled, Ontario has basically doubled, Northern Ontario not so much.
Experts say Northern Ontario still needs more. And police are warning people to stay off the St. Mary's River, adding the water underneath is unpredictable.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. One person has been rushed to hospital with serious life-threatening injuries following a crash on Highway 17 this morning in Bruce Mines. According to police, it involved a pickup truck and a transport. A detour was set up directing traffic away from Highway 638 to Duff Road. Highway 17 reopened just before 9 a.m. A 51-year-old man is facing charges of cruelty to animals in an update on the dog abuse case in Sudbury we told you about yesterday. Police and municipal law enforcement officers investigated reports from the community into a viral video of a man kicking a dog. The accused has been released with a condition to not have any animal in his control or care and to appear in court at a later date. The dog is being cared for at a local shelter. Timmins Shores saw a major cash infusion today from the province, and one of the companies getting a boost is a mining equipment manufacturer. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
For close to 120 years, a mining manufacturer, Wabi Iron and Steel Corporation, has played a critical role in the supply chain.
We are investing in changing our molding systems, our molding line and operations, and upgrading our melting capabilities.
The foundry, the only one of its kind in Northern Ontario, is where workers make castings.
When the metal freezes,
molten metal goes into a mold.
The castings tend to be wear parts that can be used in the mining operations, both milling and underground.
From $4 million in funding announced today, $3.25 million is going to Wabi to purchase and upgrade existing equipment and renovate its foundry division.
Essentially to go from our current tonnage capability of 700 tons to 5,400 production tons by the end of this project.
Ontario Cabinet Minister George Peary says it's crucial the government prioritizes investments through the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund to protect industries and jobs.
It's part of that strategy about pivoting away the dependency on the dependency of the U.S. markets and building our own made Ontario economy.
The manufacturer ships products to mines in Ontario, Canada, South America, and around the world, recently striking a deal with a mine in Ireland. Down the line, Wabi is planning a large 5-year expansion.
We anticipate approximately 40 more employees added.
Foundries are absolutely essential. So by staying in the game, they now have they're basically in a very unique position.
As it looks to be the premier foundry, Wabi is already planning ahead for another century of production. Eric Tashner, CTV News, Timmins Shores.
Meanwhile, several projects in the north received federal funding today to tackle the illegal drug crisis, including an Indigenous health organization in Sault Ste. Marie. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
Along with offering primary health care and mental health support, the staff at Mamusing North Shore Community Health is also on the front lines of the illegal drug crisis. They see firsthand the devastating effects of substance use.
Our vision is rooted in Anishinaabe teachings that remind us healing happens through relationship, community, and balance, and that our role is to walk beside our relatives as they reclaim wellness in their own way and on their own time.
The Indigenous Health Organization is one of 8 Ontario projects receiving funding from the Emergency Treatment Fund. Sault Ste. Marie Algoma MP Terry Sheehan announced the federal money today, meant to help communities respond to needs related to the illegal drug crisis.
In rural Canada, in Northern Ontario, in Indigenous communities and non-Indigenous communities, so that we could fund these important initiatives that's going to combat this.
Mamusing will see $3.6 million to address substance use in urban Sault Ste. Marie and North Shore.
For many Indigenous people, mainstream systems have not always felt safe, accessible, or responsive.
There are real and ongoing concerns about the care people receive, the barriers they face, and the impact of historical and systemic inequities.
The money will help the organization strengthen its client connection model and its outreach program.
These ongoing relationships help people feel seen, supported, and accountable. They also allow us to identify challenges early and respond with care before situations become crises. When people feel connected, they are more likely to stay engaged and experience positive outcomes.
Also getting money from the Emergency Treatment Fund is a 6-bed residential pre-treatment transition home for Wikwemkong and 24-hour on-call support and response for a program in Birch Island. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Don't Stop Now. It's the title of the latest briefing note from the Northern Policy Institute. It shows the impact of federal and provincial efforts to move immigration beyond Canada's largest cities is working. CTV's Lindsay Alick has more.
Experts say the bottom line is deaths outweigh births in almost every region of Northern Ontario in recent years.
Over the last 50 years, Canada has basically doubled, Ontario has basically doubled, Northern Ontario not so much. And in fact, what we saw is that when you look at population, without the immigration spike of the last 5 years, every region in Northern Ontario would have declined, except for Kenora.
Sirtwell says without the recent population increase driven by both immigration and an increase in temporary residents, Northern Ontario would be demographically and economically unsustainable.
The Rural Northern Immigration Pilot clearly worked. It saw growth in population across the board in Northern Ontario. We now have 2 new pilots in place, but again, they're temporary and they're small.
They're modeled after an approach used in Atlantic Canada that was super successful and actually made permanent. So our hope is that the federal government will recognize the success of these streams for areas that are outside of our Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver metropolitan areas and make them a permanent pathway for immigration in the future.
The rural and francophone community immigration pilot programs supported 551 principal applicants, representing a total of 1,082 individuals coming to Sudbury.
It's one tool in a suite of tools that help people find their homes in Canada, and certainly in the north it's been really important for hundreds of employers who have found talented employees who are here to stay and want to stay and be part of the community.
Sirtwell adds that Northern Ontario needs 6,500 new people every year for the next 20 to make up for people retiring. That's compared to other parts of the province, which only need about 2,000. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Sault Ste. Marie police are warning the public about ice conditions on the St. Mary's River. River ice is unpredictable because the water beneath it is always moving, meaning ice thickness can change without warning. This warning comes after police received several reports of people walking out on the river and cutting holes in the ice surface to, quote, cold plunge far from the shoreline. Post-secondary students say they're worried about how they'll afford their education. It comes following the province's announcement of major reductions to OSAP grants taking effect this fall. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
At Queen's Park yesterday, Ontario Premier Doug Ford defended the changes coming to post-secondary institutions as his government lifts a freeze on tuition and cuts grants.
A lot of the students, I'm not one to say, like you're picking basket weaving courses and there's not too many baskets being sold out there.
At Sudbury's Cambrian College, those remarks aren't sitting well.
No degree is a basket weaving degree, in my opinion. I think all jobs matter. Almost every degree matters. We're all contributing to the future of Ontario.
These aren't just basket weaving jobs people are choosing. I want to be a teacher, but if I can't afford to be a teacher, that's a job that's in high demand right now. The statement really kind of just rubbed me the wrong way when he said that. It's not cool at all.
The new OSAP structure means students will have to pay back more of the money they receive. Grants are now capped at 25%, leaving loans to cover at least 75% of the bill. It's a shift leaving many worried about long-term debt.
In the BSCN program, it's all funded through OSAP. So right now my program is free, which is great, but that's not the case for a lot of people. So nurses that we desperately need are not getting enough encouragement.
And I have a lot of friends that are on OSAP because they need it. They cannot get an education without OSAP, and having to pay back all that money afterwards is it's insane.
Cambrian's Athletic Association president says he's hearing from plenty of stressed out students.
We're trying to be more verbal about our bursaries that we have available here at the college, help them out with that, help them submit an application so they could seek some more financial help.
Some students here say they'll see the true cost of their education when OSAP applications go live this spring, ahead of the changes coming into effect this September. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Repairs to Sudbury's College Street underpass will happen just on a smaller scale. That's according to the City of Greater Sudbury, which is now proposing using federal money already received to do the repairs. The new price tag is down to $8.7 million from $25 million. The bridge and underpass are in need of repair, which the city will do, but without making upgrades or modifications to the bridge, intersection, or railway. City Council will hear the report next week. Meanwhile, French River's mayor informing residents it's not just big cities that have been feeling the tariff pinch in the midst of the U.S. economic trade war. Small communities are feeling it too. In her yearly State of the Town address, Giselle Pajot telling residents it's had an impact on the community south of Greater Sudbury.
So for instance, our 2 lumber mills have been severely affected with the tariffs, and our huge project with Anmar has been put on hold because naturally they use a lot of steel, and the steel tariffs are a problem right now. So until the government gets its act together, and I'm talking about the American government, we'll feel the effects for a long time.
Pajot also reiterating previous comments she had made, calling the province's super mayor powers ill-conceived. Nearly 3,000 residents call the municipality home, but that population more than doubles in the warmer months. Well, time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the weather warnings we have in place tonight. We had a weather statement in along the Sault Ste. Marie-Wawa stretch of Highway 17 just a short time ago, but that has disappeared in the last few minutes. That is good news. There's still some snow there, but not to the degree of the warning. Meanwhile, if you're heading south tonight, I wanted to show this area. Anywhere south down 6911, it is going to be a mess. They have a freezing drizzle advisory from across much of southwestern Ontario, and it is making the roads reportedly quite icy. Here are the current conditions. We're seeing snow in Wawa and Chapleau, cloudy conditions in Timmins and Timiskaming Shores, -7 in Sudbury, -5 in Elliott Lake. We'll have details after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Big change in conditions compared to just yesterday, but we've got more interesting conditions to talk about in Northeastern Ontario heading into the weekend, especially some cold weather coming up at the start of next week. Our forecast radar, this is the system right now hanging over the Northeast. And again, more snow, at least in some areas, will be prevalent, particularly North Bay, Algonquin Park, and Parry Sound. Let's get to some of the numbers now for the next 7 days. Cloud cover, Greater Sudbury at 0. Chance of snow on Friday, -2, -4. Chance of flurries Saturday. Chance of flurries on Sunday, -3. Then -10. It starts to cool down Monday, Tuesday, -10. The high both days. You've got sun and cloud and the chance of flurries on Tuesday. Meanwhile, in Sault Ste. Marie-Algoma, chance of flurries tomorrow, +1, +2 Friday, chance of snow. Chance of flurries on Saturday and Sunday, -2 and -4, your daytime highs. Then the cool down, -9 and -8. You've got sun and cloud Monday and the chance of flurries on Tuesday. In Timmins, Cochrane Campus, Casing, mainly cloudy tomorrow, -4, -5 on Friday, some sun and cloud. More of the same on Saturday. Sunday, chance of flurries, -5. Then the cool down Monday, sun and cloud, -15, -25 overnight. Warming up just a bit on Tuesday, chance of flurries, -12 and -5 by next Wednesday in the area. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, chance of flurries for tomorrow at 0. Chance of snow Friday, -3, -3 again on Saturday and Sunday. So again, chance of flurries Saturday, chance of flurries Sunday, then sun and cloud Monday as it gets colder, -11 and -12. Overnight lows -23, and then warming up to -13 overnight come Tuesday. And in North Bay, West Nipissing, cloud cover tomorrow at 0. Chance of snow on Friday, -1 your high, -3 Saturday, chance of flurries. More of the same on Sunday. Chance of flurries only 30%. -3, -8 sun and cloud on Monday as it starts to get colder. Tuesday, -10 with the chance of flurries. And then it gets warmer once again. So it's that time of month where we have a lot of transition going on in the forecast. And again, we go from warmer to colder, back to warmer temperatures and conditions. Back to you on the desk.
Thanks, Rick. Well, Samuel de Champlain Provincial Park near Mattawa is set to partially reopen this spring. The park was damaged by a storm last summer, forcing it to close for the season. Officials say the Babawas campground will reopen May 8th, which features electrical sites and a comfort station. While this is good news for the provincial park, the entire west side of the park will remain closed to start the season. A major cash infusion for the organization Sudbury Queers United Around Diversity, known as SQUAD, which works for safety, diversity, and equality for the 2S LGBTQI+ community. Today, Sudbury MP Vivienne Lapointe announcing more than $250,000 in federal funding to help the group continue reducing barriers. SQUAD opened a safe space on Durham Street in downtown Sudbury last August. The funding will be used to expand services and offer workshops that foster inclusion, education, and understanding.
The work that SQUAD does really speak to the values that we all hold as Canadians, the values of respect, of democracy, of inclusive societies. And so that this funding helps them do a lot of that great work that they do, the advocacy, the support, as well as the education.
Suicide is at a higher rate within the queer community. Isolation, they've proven that isolation and loneliness is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So it affects you not only just mentally and emotionally, but it affects you physically. And it's, so then everything that comes with that, the pressures of minority stress.
SQUAD is also working with a local long-term care facility to offer a rainbow space and training videos on how staff can be more inclusive. All Timmins police officers are undergoing mandatory training to learn how to better respond to mental health crisis calls. They're partnering with Northern College to use virtual reality. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
2 years ago, the province mandated that all sworn police officers complete mental health crisis response training. With the April 1st deadline fast approaching, the Timmins Police Service is partnering with Northern College to ensure every officer meets the requirement. The use of virtual reality technology simulates potential situations officers could face.
I'll come in and have a chat with you. I just don't want to come in while you have the scissors in your hand. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
In a case like this, the person was delusional, was seeing things, was hearing voices. So in this case, the officer would use some of the techniques that he receives through the training. Some of those techniques could be time and distance, not getting into the person's private space until they allow you into there. It could be using a humanized approach.
A key component of the training is de-escalation. Officers practice responding to high-pressure situations in a controlled, immersive environment. Officers learn how to identify individuals experiencing mental health crises and how to respond to them compassionately without the use of force.
What if the person's suffering from schizophrenia? What exactly are you looking for in order to resolve this? That could be different than somebody that's suffering, that's manic. So to know the differences and be able to identify that increases our chance of success of being able to relate with that person and come to a peaceful resolution.
Northern College says it was the first one in the province to invest in VR training for its Police Foundations program.
Now we've partnered with Timmins Police Service so that they could use this room for the training. It gives them an opportunity to have it always set up, always ready to go. And it gives our students an opportunity to, practice what we've taught them in class.
We've been doing this training for quite some time here at the college and in partnership with the college. But now that it's mandatory for all police services in the province, we were already ahead of the game.
Police officials say the training will be completed by the end of March, and officers will have to retake it annually. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
There's more ahead tonight on CTV News, but first, let's go to a live shot of the Sudbury Water Tower tonight, all lit up in red and white. This coming off the heels of a big day at the Winter Games and a nail-biter win for the men's hockey team. This shot courtesy of the Sudbury Wolves. Stay with us, there's more to come. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario. From Premier Doug Ford tonight, a report that the Education Minister has been directed to make sure students are able to watch the remaining Team Canada Olympic hockey games in school. Ford says that starts with tomorrow's game, referring to the Canadian women's gold medal match against the U.S. When CTV News reached out for further information about the Premier's post, his office said that it would be up to individual schools how they would organize the viewing of the games. Well, from skiing down gravel roads in her town of 1,200 to the biggest athletic stage in the world, Shiloh Rousseau is making Thessalon proud. CTV's Corey Nordstrom stopped in for the breakfast watch party as Rousseau made her final appearance at these games.
Excited eyes took in the last event of Shiloh Rousseau's Olympic debut. The biathlete is believed to be the first ever Olympian from Thessalon, with the community rallying around her for each event the 25-year-old took part in.
We're really proud of Shiloh, for sure, my wife and I, and then not just us, but like I said, the whole community's proud of her.
It's huge for a town of this size. We used to see her roller skiing around town and running up Highway 129, and she used the Rod and Gun Club out in Little Rapids. So we've been seeing her working hard her whole life.
The odds of making it is like point and then 5 zeros, 17. That's the odds of somebody making it to the Olympics with the population.
Rousseau's final event of the 2026 Games was as the second leg of the 4x6 kilometer relay. Overall, Shiloh told her parents she had hoped for better results this Olympics, but in her last appearance in Milano Cortina, the Thessalon native started 19th and at one point moved Team Canada into 9th. Not only did Thessalon follow along for each of her events, they helped make it happen with multiple fundraisers.
This is a very expensive sport, traveling through Europe and that. So people, businesses in town and the North Shore and individual people have stepped up and helped her out. And that's why she is where she is today, because of all the people behind her.
Shiloh just says, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, she said she was happy she had a good leg today.
While it's still too early for Shiloh to decide if she'll try to compete at the next Winter Olympics, she's already made history in her community. Her family and friends say Rousseau has proven to children in any small town like Thessalon that they too can make their dreams a reality if they put in the time and effort. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Thessalon.
Finally tonight, a Sudbury French Catholic school watched the girls hockey team play against the Sudbury Police women's team today. CTV's Madison Moirier on why.
Green pom-poms and school spirit lined the arena this morning to increase awareness for the new sport schism at L'Horizon.
It's just to get them now to know exactly what it entails. Like, it's not just for the athletes, but it's for many students involved, like that can get involved. So we're just going to have to work on that part, but I think it's going to be a success for sure.
The future is going to be more co-op placements for those who are already in the exploitation minière high schools major and the santé bien-être high schools major, but now we offer sports, so we're going to be able to offer even more co-op programs.
Ledo says the hockey game is to get students in grades 11 and 12 interested in sports schism.
A lot of our classmates and a lot of people at our school in general are interested in sports, so I think that it's a great opportunity for like a lot of the students.
I think there's going to be lots more people participating in that, and I think, yeah, I'm also interested in it because I'm interested in going into like medicine, science.
The new schism took a year in the making, but the school felt it was necessary with how prevalent sports are at L'Horizon.
They presented us a report asking for a new schism. They have to have community partners, they have to have co-op placements, and then they see how this will be beneficial to the students, and that's how the board decides with the government if it's a good schism and a good fit for our community.
The game ended 3-2 for L'Horizon Anglais against GSPS, and players are hoping the success will increase the school's interest in women's hockey. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Hanmer.
Looks like a lot of hockey fans there. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Wednesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.